So I'm in the middle of the gift shop in Hampton Court. Hampton Court is where Henry VIII held court. It was taken over by a cardinal. There was a cardinal's home, a Catholic cardinal in the 15th century that was ultimately basically confiscated by Henry VIII, and he made his court here, and it was here until they moved to Buckingham Palace, and I want to say in the 17th century. This is one of my favorite places in London. It's just an incredible historical experience, especially because you hear so much about Henry VIII and his 6 wives. So we'll do a walking tour of Hampton Court. Here we go. Okay, so we're transitioning into voiceover because honestly I didn't record much while I was walking through here. So we're going to talk a little bit about what we can see as we're walking. As you can also see, this is sped up, so you don't spend 20 minutes walking through the parking lot. So this is the opening castle, the outside castle of Hampton Court, and as you can see next, you go into the inner courtyard. And this was very, very large. Part of the reason Henry transitioned to this area is because he had such a large court. Had about 1,000 people in his court. All right, we're getting ready to go into the Tudors part of the castle. This includes the Great Hall and the area that wasn't destroyed by later kings. This first think of it as entranceway was created by Boleyn, and as you know, she's quite the controversial figure. Was only married to Henry for about 3 years before she was killed. Lots of history around it. She was actually the reason for the separation between Henry and the Catholic Church, which is why we have the Anglican Church today. Pretty incredible. Now you are in the Great Hall, and this is actually one of the only parts that the next kings were going to keep when they decided to redo the castle. They ran out of money, which is why the Great Hall and much of the remaining, including Henry's personal chapel, is still there. So you notice the tapestries on the walls and the decoration. They were fairly minimalist, but a big thing in Henry's court was eating food. They ate thousands and thousands of calories per meal. That was one of the kind of marks of being king. Lots of variety, lots of different types of food. The stained glass, though I don't know anything special about it, is really, really beautiful. The video just doesn't do it justice. Okay, so we're getting ready to walk into the next room, which is called the Great Watching Chamber. I know, very original. This room was the room that they encountered first after leaving the Great Hall. It served as a waiting area for those seeking an audience with the king or entry into the more private royal apartments. Now remember, the royal apartments aren't actually on the tour because it was destroyed later. Again, all of this would have been destroyed if the if the kings and queen subsequent didn't run out of money. This is actually a really, really beautiful room. Again, the videos and pictures don't really do it justice. These tapestries are hundreds of years old and was very, very lavish for the time. What I want to talk about next is some of these additional spaces. Like I was just saying, the spaces here is what it actually looked like in the time of Henry VIII, but there's a lot of space that's actually missing because of the remodel that happened in the 16th, 17th century. The rooms that you're getting ready to look at are the council chamber where Henry VIII held his private meetings, the haunted gallery, which is really interesting, famously for the ghost of Catherine Howard. She was the 5th wife of Henry VIII, and she was 17 when she was executed. This is also the direction going to the chapel royal, the royal chapel for Henry VIII. He was a very religious man, even though he committed quite a few atrocities, and he worshipped, it sounds like almost daily, and the chapel's still there. It's a beautiful chapel for the Anglican Church, and they still hold ceremonies there. Absolutely gorgeous. This is actually my favorite area of the castle because I'm a sucker for a ghost story. So the story goes is that you can still hear Catherine Howard running down the hallways to try to avoid her execution. They actually have events on Halloween or around that time, so that's pretty cool. Okay, so we just got done with the Tudors section of Henry VIII. Henry VIII's last remaining heir was Elizabeth I. She died in 1603. Then King William took over with Mary II, and they go into the Baroque period, whatever the bloody hell that means. So we'll take a look at the Baroque period. This is the other part of the castle here at Hampton Court that was used until 1760. So here we go. Hi guys, I want to thank everyone who made it to the end of this video. It's a lot of work to shoot them and a lot of work to edit them, and I know that, well, I'm really fortunate to be able to do some of these travel things, and I'm really thankful to share it. A couple of kind of ending thoughts on the trip to Hampton Court. We're going to show you some of the grounds in another video, as well as the Baroque portion of the castle, which is from the 16th, 17th century before the royal family transitioned to some of their other properties. They got properties all over the place, right? They spent a lot of time at Windsor, and there's a bunch of properties up north that they like to spend time at. Windsor we actually visited. Well, we'll do a video about that one too. The royal family actually still stays there. So as opposed to, just little thoughts on the cost, it was not expensive to participate in this. We actually took an Uber from downtown. It's about $90 to get 5 of us there. And it's about an hour drive. Traffic, depending on traffic, it's only like 20 some odd miles. They have a tendency to build, because that's what you can march an army in a day, is 20 miles. And so they have a tendency to build the castles 20 miles apart. And getting into the exhibit, or the castle itself, at the time of this recording, it was 25 pounds per person, and I think we had a discount. So it's not a hugely expensive endeavor. It took us most of the day to get there and around, and it's well worth your time. So if you are in London, you're looking for something historical, consider Hampton Court. It was a fantastic time. Thanks for watching the video. We'll see you next time.